Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello there. Welcome to another stream. Uh, Welcome back to Donde Esta Lucy, the only stream where we actually know where Lucy is, or, what happened to her. Or maybe we don't. Maybe she's a skinwalker. Uh, I think that's Amazil's theories that she's a skinwalker. Is he right? Is he wrong? Remains to be seen. I mean, stranger things have happened in BCB, even in the canon. I'm not even talking about like the stuff that was removed from Volume 1. They can still canonically shoot lasers from their eyes, so, you know. Lucy being a skinwalker is still on the table. Let's take a look at... Hold up, I'm going to open my... my blinds first so I get a little bit more light in here. There we go. So, I do want to talk about this page a little bit. By the way, I called this. I was like, everyone just like forgets about Mike the moment he's not like a thing for people to date. Which, to be fair, they are in high school, but it is weird that it seems like everybody acts like that towards him, but not like everybody. You know, Sue, maybe. I don't know. These guys certainly not. Maybe this will just become his new friend group. I think it is. We've seen some spoilers for chapter 127, which is 2 chapters from now. So I think it's a very real possibility that Mike just kind of starts drifting away from his old friends towards people that actually like him for him and not for whatever bussy he can provide them. It is a pretty sad existence, though. Also this. Look at him. They just want some no longer. Yeah, he grabs his chest fluff. It's a good thing he grew that chest fluff out, by the way, so he can grab it. Maybe he was going for the scarf and he missed. I don't know. He's a very fluffy boy now. He's trying to compete with the rest of these fluffers over here. Anyway, Donde Esta Lucy. We ended off on the Goldie thing, which I said I wasn't even going to touch. Well, because I think it was already discussed here in this blog, or maybe not. I know it was discussed somewhere. Anyway, I've been binge watching Gurren Lagann, and all I can think of is Paulo as Kamina and Abby as Rossiu, and maybe David as Simone. I always saw Mike as Simon. Personally, look at this old garbage from 2007. Oh, I don't even think this is on the Candy Boru, actually. Let's see. Drop this in here. I will pierce robots with my flag of burning spirit. I don't know what any of this is. What is any of this? Are we incest? Fucking Carter's here. Carson's here. Justin's here for some reason. Where's Mike in this? Is Mike just not here? It's Abby, it's Augustus, it's David. Wait. Oh, that's Mike. I thought because of the goggles. No, that's Justin. That's Molly. I don't know what any of this means. I genuinely, and also speaking of incest, don't even get the BCB code threads started on this shit. You don't want to know. Abby, would you have to say one nice thing about Paula? What would it be? He encourages us all to use contraception. This is a good one. Amazing. I wonder if Abby still believes this to this day. Actually, I wonder what Abby would say if you asked him this now. What would be the one nice thing? Hi, Rob. Hey, Breelmon. How's it going? It's a real question. Somebody ask Abby say one nice thing about Paulo today. Because of the school days talk, I just binge watched it. Honestly, I feel bad for... Okay, so... Let's talk... I have watched School Days. Not something that I really went out of my way to watch, but I have watched it. And as someone that watched it, it's not worth it. You want to know about School Day? I'm going to say what happens. but it is way less interesting than it's going to sound. And I assure you it is not worth, even if you enjoy BCB to its fullest. But basically there's this guy and there's this girl, right? And then there's this other girl. So guy what likes so there's guy, there's girl A, there's girl B. This guy is really into girl B, and girl A likes the guy, but she helps the guy get with girl B, but then the guy spends so much time with girl A that he decides that, wait, I actually love you instead of girl B. But then he starts having sex with all the girls at his school, and then it just completely spirals, and then they all find out, and then they completely throw him away. Hi Rob, yeah, hello. They completely toss him aside. And then the girl A, who's his best friend, who was also upset with him, comes back. But then it turns out that girl A is pregnant. And then girl B finds out. And then girl B slices girl A, gives her a C-section, steals the fetus. And I think... Does she kill? It's been a while. I don't really... Anyway, it's not worth it. It sounds more interesting than it is. I assure you this is not worth it. It is based off of a visual novel for the PS2. I think there were a few actually. That just if you've already read BCB, this isn't even worth it if you haven't read BCB. Just forget this exists. Why do you hate me? I'm so bored of Brave Inspiration, so have a dial tone doodle. Can't draw cats, so I have a human Lucy. Truly the most Lucy of all time. Oh, there's a new Normalsville. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Do you have any advice for a nervous egg going into high school? Beat up the biggest guy you find. No, I'm just kidding. Let's do I have any advice? Honestly, it's so difficult to like ingest advice when you're at that age because you haven't gone through it. I forgot to send you the clip of me as Matt in the bowling alley chapter, so I'll do that soon. Okie doke. So it's hard at that age when you're going from middle school to high school to like really ingest any sort of advice because your entire brainstem, for the most part, all of your emotions and your thoughts, your feelings are all going to be taken over by hormones, and you won't, and it's not everyone, but you won't really be able to have the part of your brain that says to sit down and just take a breather and think about things until you get older. So whatever advice you give to someone, which is good, and it's good that they'll have it in the back of their mind maybe, but it doesn't necessarily mean people are going to remember that advice in the moment. I'm not saying don't give advice. I'm just saying that from my experience, it's like you can tell somebody something, but until they actually go through the thing, they won't understand it emotionally because you understand something twice for the most part. You understand it when someone tells you and explains it to you. You understand it when someone tells you and explains it to you, and then you understand it when you go through it and you understand it like emotionally on an emotional level. The the thing that I always bring up as like an example is tipping. And I know tipping culture is primarily a thing in the United States, but I always know like to tip, right? Like tipping is just the right thing to do, or here it's the right thing to do. But until you're in a position where a lot of your income relies on tips, you don't really fully understand how important it is. Now, that is a bigger problem with our like uh, financial system, our economy, where people shouldn't have to rely on tips. Jobs that give jobs where you get tips are allowed to pay you way less under the minimum wage because they're like, oh, well, the tips make up for the rest of it, and so they will absolutely like pay you nothing. But they're like, oh, well, if you make tips up, and anyway, I'm getting off track. The point is that advice is great, but sometimes you actually have to go through the thing in order to fully understand it. Going into high school, you really have to not be afraid. Everyone's scared. I need you to understand. Everybody is scared going into high school. Everybody is going to be wearing a mask, and the people that are socially maladjusted enough to not wear a mask are going to be the outcasts. But they're also going to be the ones that are going to actually be themselves. And I'm not saying that people don't show parts of themselves, but people definitely try to seem as like maybe textureless as possible in order to not make waves. Like not in any sort of negative way. Like what's considered cool, right? And I don't know how that's arbitrarily decided, but whatever is considered the cool thing in high school is what everyone tries to put the mask on that they believe for the most part to an extent. But you shouldn't try to chase that trend. Now fads come and go. It's just the way of it. And if you genuinely enjoy the thing that is considered cool, then don't be like, oh, I have to be the opposite. Because you also don't want to be a contrarian for contrarian's sake. Even when you get out of high school, that's just like really annoying. And it's not even about like being devil's advocate on anything, because being devil's advocate is like, okay, well, I don't necessarily believe or agree with the statement that I'm about to make, but this is what the other side would say about, what is like against the grain, against the coolness. So just kind of like figure out what you want to be. Figure out what you want to be and follow that. You are coming to the point where you can really start to try to get the ball rolling on certain things. You're not going to be able to go full tilts. It's not going to become a snowball, but you can get the ball rolling on certain things that you might be interested in for the rest of your life. Like you basically have like a free pass to make mistakes, right? During this period, because you're still living with your parents, things are still regimented, you're still going to school, and you should absolutely try to take advantage of that. This is like beyond like a high school thing. This is more of a general life thing, during this period of time. And maybe you could say something similar as far as going into college or university, but definitely take this time to think about what you might be interested in with doing with your life and try to maybe pursue that. Don't mind too much about what other people are doing, because they're going to spend all their time minding what you're doing. Just keep in mind everybody's scared and nobody knows what's going on. And honestly, if you keep that in mind, and you don't have to flaunt it to people, but if you're just like, none of this is going to matter for the most part, I think that building up a good work ethic can start at any time in life. But for the most part, if you are just like, shit is weird and awkward right now in high school, just it's not going to be forever. Like once you graduate, I'm telling you, you are probably never going to see 99% of those people again. Like if you get like a job at like a grocery store or like at a Starbucks or something, you might see them come in every once in a while, but I genuinely can't think of anybody that I went to school with that I saw after I graduated. So don't worry about being an embarrassment, because no one's going to remember that shit. And everybody's embarrassing. I don't know if any of that is helpful. Oh man, I don't know. It depends on what you're worried about. Just do your best. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of the best advice you can give to people is there's nothing to it but to do it, and this is kind of in that same vein. And do your best to. But what does that mean? Like, do your best at what? Do your best at like yourself. The best thing you can do is be your best self for you. Honestly, high school felt the same as middle school for me, except the building was different, so it wasn't that big of a leap. Yeah, something like that. Remember that like 90% of your year will disappear after you graduate, and you'll never see them again, so don't be so anxious on impressing anyone. By the way, I wasn't reading this when I was doing my whole spiel, so she's pretty much saying everything that I just said. People will grow up and move on, and if you meet some bros in high school that last past high school, that's pretty cool, but it's not something you should say have as a huge priority. This is true. I used to get depressed as hell when I'd see people who have been buddies since primary school, and I'd be like, I wish I could have long-term besties that have a deep connection like they do. I'm so forever alone. But like that shit doesn't matter at the end of the day. It honestly doesn't. Find people you have a connection with. They can be from school or they can be post school. It doesn't matter. The connection does. This is absolutely massive. Having a team, networking, forming connections, it is important no matter where you're at in life. And as she's just said. But like the thing is how do you make those connections and that networking? That's the trick. The trick is finding the people. The trick is getting the foot in the door. Some people can be cool friends and then they get different interests and move on and become casual acquaintances, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you if that happens. You'll likely change a lot too. It's just an aspect of growing up. And other people can surprise you and become a super rad friend. Relationships are complicated. Whatever happens, happens, and you'll find endless future opportunities to make connections in the future, whether it's university or work or even people from the internet. Don't let clicks get to you. Absolutely true. This does make me think, because we did talk about the new BCB page, it makes me think if Teshi is going to take BCB down this path. It makes me think that by the end of the comic, like the characters will finally deal with all of the drama in a mature and healthy way and say, maybe we should just move on and that's for the best. It is possible to be lifelong or friends with someone since childhood going into like high school or something and just kind of drift apart. Like you really start becoming your own in your late teens and early 20s. That's when you really start becoming the person you're going to be. And it happens at different times for different people. Relationships too, like don't think it's easy when you're that young to think the things that are happening are going to, and they can impact the rest of your life, but like minor things like relationships or friendships, as long as you don't do anything like insane or illegal, it's probably going to be fine. But you can't think that just because a friendship or a relationship has ended that you're never going to find someone again, because you will. Like, to be open again about my relationships, like when Lauren and I broke up, it really did feel like for a while that I just wasn't going to find anyone else that I connected with on that level or even more. And I spent years, like even though like there were other girls, it just wasn't the same. And I really was like, wow, I completely fucked up by, breaking up with that girl. I should have stuck out with it, even though it was clear that relationship just was not going to work. But it really felt like I will literally never find anybody else because it is just such an impossible Herculean task. Like, yes, there are 8 billion people on this planet. And that's an oversimplification of things because they're not in your local area. They're spread out all over the world. And, they also have all different life circumstances. But at the same time, it's possible to have so much information, so many people that you just don't find someone. It's like super saturated, I guess, or it's too many people. Like, oh, don't worry, there's 8 billion other people, you'll find someone, but also that's a lot of people you got to wade through to find somebody. And it's not always guaranteed. But, recently I've come into a new relationship with a girl that I absolutely love, that I'm head over heels for. I love her so fucking much. And it's always fun or interesting to look back and like, wow, I really literally never could have ever imagined in a billion years that I would ever find someone that like fits me like a puzzle piece. And then you have. And so if you're like even, and this is regardless of whenever friendships or relationships end, whether it's in high school or not, and this is also indicative of other things in life, not just, related to other people, like different hobbies that you enjoy, or a job. Like, don't think that it's completely over, because it might take some time and a little bit of legwork, but you will eventually find something to be satisfied with. And the only person stopping you from being satisfied with things is yourself most of the time. Yeah, just because you're not like a billionaire or a millionaire doesn't mean that you can't be happy. Might be a bit harder, but you know. And I'm not also saying that things will absolutely 100% work out too. You have to keep in mind that sometimes things just get fuck shit. And that's just life. And it's easy for me to say because things are getting a little bit more stable. I really haven't been working on videos and stuff, but life has been a little bit unstable recently. But things are finally starting to get stable financially, socially, so on. So hopefully once everything else in my life is a little bit more stable, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable just sitting down and doing videos, which I've still been kind of doing off and on. But don't let like a failed relationship, or like maybe a failed job opportunity, or like whatever thing that got away from you, don't let that be like, okay, it's completely over and I will never have another chance. Like, I know people like that. And it's just like, why are you going to sit here and say, oh, I peaked in high school, and just never like try again? Just feel like, oh, I completely missed the boat because this one person liked me in high school and I didn't realize it at the time, and now I'm just over for me everything. It's like no. The other thing is, don't be one of those people. This is beyond high school, but don't be one of those people where like, oh, my life peaked in high school. That is quitter talk. That is like, I've just given up on life and I'm not even going to try anymore, because what's the point? Because things were so much better then. I'm not going to say things are like, you know, going to be hunky dory all the time after high school, but things can still be just as good or even better. But to sit here and like just be the has-been that is like clung on to their high school years and just never seem to move past that, that will make your life absolutely miserable. You can't live in the past because the past doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not tangible. The only thing that exists is the present. And the only thing that will exist is the future. The one thing that doesn't exist anymore, that will never exist ever again, is the past. I kind of kicked myself because I was a bit lazy in freshman sophomore year, because teachers made a big deal about how junior senior year were the years that mattered, and I figured I would never amount to anything academically until I got my first honor roll in junior year that was actually points off a high honor roll, and I was like, oh, I can actually get all A's. So junior senior year was chock full of high honor rolls for me, and I would just focus on that instead of relationship with students, Lamau. Yeah, there is like a lot of, I think it's because teachers don't want kids to just kind of like give up. Like, they do want the students to focus on their studies. So by like kind of pressuring them, going, "Oh, this is going to matter when you get into college, or this is going to matter in your freshman or your senior year," because there's a huge emphasis on senior year, because that's the last year that you're not going to have like that sort of society safety net. Uh, they don't want kids to be caught off guard, I guess. So I don't know. High school can definitely be scary and weird at times, and there's so many changes in your growth as a person, so many discoveries around these years. But like, everyone is confused and suffering with you, and you'll be able to come out of these confused years golden. I'm sure of it. Hope this helps. You can wreck it. Yeah, high school is basically a filter. You're filtering things out. Even your 20s, even going in through your 20s, like your 20s is about discovering who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do in life. A lot of people don't really end up in the careers that they're going to do for their whole life until they're in their 30s, and they it, uh, and it's different for everyone. Like, you're sometimes people figure it out sooner. Sometimes people take a little bit into the 30s to figure it out. But just keep in mind that a lot of the most successful people in history, your directors, your politicians, so on and so forth, your musicians, the artists, the big hoity-toity lawyers, these people didn't really start on that path until they were in their 30s. That's because all throughout your 20s, and you actually have to put the legwork in. It doesn't just happen. You know, you can't wait for life to happen to you. Like, life does happen to you, but you can't wait for the things you want to happen to you to happen to you. You have to go ahead and take those for your own. But a lot of the people that are successful now didn't start that till their 30s. So don't think that just because, oh, I'm 25 and I'm not like a multi-millionaire like all these influencer bros that are like touting like, oh, here's my 7 steps to a happy, healthy life, or like a financially successful life. You have all these girls. That guy is like 1 in a million, and I guarantee you, by the way, that that person is like living off of their parents' money too. Like a lot of these people, and not everyone, but like a lot of these people that are like self-made and super successful are just really using mommy and daddy's money to get themselves to that point. They're just lying. Because the grift is that you tell people you can make them successful, and then the person sells their online course for a couple $1,000s, and then that person actually gets successful because you're giving them the money to be that way, even though it's just a lie. See, just notice how the ask page lists Jordan as 17 and Lucy as 15. I don't remember what their ages are supposed to be, but isn't Jordan her younger brother? Lucy's always been the youngest in her family. I don't really understand where Jordan being younger came from this because you're totally not the only one that thought this. I assume it's because Jordan looks like a dorky younger brother, but he's totally not. I think it's because Jordan looks so small. Like here, we'll go to the about page and we'll also like go to double down real quick. I think not just like to Lucy's size, but like to all of his friends, he looks so small. So it's easy to think that he's like the younger brother. Well, he's still taller than Lucy. I don't know. He looks young. He looks like a wee bab. He has a baby face, I guess. Hard to say, but I get why people would think he's younger because he's also a little bit more immature in a way. Like Lucy's also immature, but like Jordan is kind of a really immature dork, pining after all the wrong people. Lucy would never do that. When would Lucy ever do something that terrible? That's silly. Let me go ahead and turn this background music on. It's a little bit too quiet. Hopefully it's not too loud. Got some Fruitiger Arrow Core up in here. I don't mean to be rude, but since I'm caught up in reading, I didn't realize it was summer in the comic. Also partly that my school district starts in late August where it starts to level the heat off. Huh. I was really confused, not realizing the heat got to Daisy's fur, and, well, to a really fast and confused reader, it looked like all the milkshakes hit her all at once in front of Sandy. Oh gosh, what if, right? Please don't draw it if people ask. We love our baby angel. Are you talking about, like feeder fetishes? Because she already did that. Oh, shit. You guys are in... Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong chat. I saw someone reading chat. I'm like, oh god, no, I missed chat. Daisy puffing up due to massive anxiety has been portrayed in the comic in the past. Yeah. What did you, here, we'll pull it up. Because they're talking about... model girlfriend. Over here. She gets really puffy. Did they think, like, all the weight just, like, she was just sucking in the gut and then the weight just dropped on her all at once? Wow. We need a live action CGI Disney remake of BCB so we can see every single curl and fur follicle on Daisy's head. Why do so many girls and a few guys crush on Mike so much? I mean, he's nice, but he's really short and feminine, and speaking from experience, that's not exactly a girl-guy magnet. Depends on the guy. Depends on the guy. Though right now it seems kind of seems like Paulo is pretty front and center in terms of relationship drama. Mike is a cute cinnamon bun roll sausage too pure for this hell on earth, or however you say it. Cinnabun. Cinnabum? What does she mean by that? It's so interesting saying this, right? Because this was like before a lot of people were really... When was this? Donde Esta? August 9th, 2016. Wait, we are hold up. Oh, this is July. Uh, he is submissive, except because he bottles his emotions. This is very interesting that even then, because this is something I consistently see people complain about, and it's something that I've talked about, where the male characters are very feminine, and they kind of have like almost feminine proportions. Also, the thing about him being short, here's the deal. I think in the universe of BCB, size doesn't really matter all too much as far as like how tall characters are. Especially how the pairings go, because the male characters do tend to be a bit taller than the female ones. Like, you have Daisy and Abby, right? And even though Daisy is really tall, she's big, she's still shorter than Abby is. Like, the female characters are, well, and the they-them characters are still shorter than the male characters. There's a really good picture of, like, all the characters standing next to each other. I'm going to try to figure out where that is, and I'll be here forever. Mike is shorter than some of the female characters, but he's still taller than, like, a lot of them. So, him being short isn't that big of an issue here. But in real life, yeah, dude, if you're a guy and you're short, this is a joke, by the way. This is like 75% of a joke. But if you're a guy and you're short in real life, it's fucking over. It's absolutely, it's time to give up. There are shorter girls out there, by the way. But like, for my relationship, like the relationships I've had, like, the girls that I've been with have always preferred a taller guy. And it seems in general women prefer a taller guy. It is biology. That is just the way our brains are hardwired. Taller figures are seen as stronger, as more protective. And that is why, that is desired. As well as slimmer figures, as far as guys looking at women as slimmer figures, as more curvy figures are seen as more desirable biologically because, childbearing and that thing. We have moved past those notions as a society, but they're still there subconsciously in our primitive brains. And that's not really something that's going to go away. I'm not saying it's right to judge people like that. We've moved past that, but it is there. It is something. And you can try to fight nature all you want, but you're never going to win. Hey, Miss Vera, in your recent Teshi diary entry, the one at the con with the restroom, is Soupy really insulting you both? I honestly think it's because you guys are so great. They put you close for convenience. All the other artists aren't as good or as snobs. So they get to walk all the way down the artist alley and have to hold it. Okay, I don't know what this is about. This is another convention thing. How do you think she fits these shirts on when her head's so giant? Is everything like a button up? Because like either that or these shirts have to be really stretchy to fit over her head. And like the ears, wouldn't the ears kind of like get like they would get pulled down if you like try to pull the shirt down over your head? I don't know. It feels like it'd be difficult to wear a bunch of clothes if you were if you had a head this big in proportion to the rest of your body. See, hey Teshi, how do you make friends? Like, to be honest, you have rad friends, and like how did you trap them into friendship? Well, I know this is a joke, but also don't use this term if you're trying to make friends. I struggle to make friends because of my anxiety, and it literally kills me. I'm too scared to meet new people, or they stray away from me. Help, oh great one. I don't know. Okay, this is a very advice-driven stream. We're like not even spending that much time talking about the Funny Cat comic. I swear we're gonna get back to it. How do you make friends? Making friends is a passive endeavor. It is not something you can put yourself in the position to like be in an area where there are people or like-minded people, but you can't force friendship or like relationships or anything like that. It's something that happens passively over time. People will come and go in your life. That is the way of things. and that will always be the way of things. But it's like filtering, right? Like you're in your life, you're everything around you is being constantly filtered around you to form what your life is. And so, yeah, friends will, drift apart from you, but there will also be people that don't. And there are people that I started talking to during the pandemic that I still talk to, that I stream with. So there are also people that I went to school with in high school that I occasionally talk to, like maybe once every couple of weeks or months or so. But it just, it's not something you should be really concerned about. Being too anxious to meet new people, okay, sure. It's a little bit easier now with Discord and like being able to join certain communities. Like even before Discord, like there were Skype groups, there were forums you could go to meet new people. But meeting people in person can be a bit tricky. It's just getting past the anxiety of it. And anxiety is different levels for different people, but from my experience, just anxiety comes from a fear of like the unknown, right? And in my brain, exposing yourself to the certain things that you want to get used to consistently will help rewire your brain to not be anxious about those things. And so like, okay, you want to meet people. Well, there's like meetup.com. There's like websites where people go to start groups to actually meet up in person. And you don't have to be the most social butterfly. You can show up and just say hi and just kind of be a floater until you get more comfortable in those situations. And then maybe you start making friends with these people. Or they stray away from you. People straying away, it could just be because of, well, once again, the filtering out. But you also have to find an equilibrium where you just kind of mellow out and you're not so anxious about keeping the friends. Because if you're like trying to, like I said, trying to force things, people are going to pick up on that. It is also possible, and I'm not saying this is the case here, and this is not every case. It's only very few cases. And I have met cases that are like this. And I think even in this instance, these people can find friends. But to quote a good friend of mine, if it smells like shit everywhere you go, you might be the one that stepped in it. Not saying that's what's going on with this person, but if you're consistently having problems with people wanting nothing to do with you, like, oh, things are fine at first, but then they're like, oh my God, like, I don't want to talk to this person, or I want to kind of stay away from this person, it could just be you. Is it an anxiety thing or is it something else? I don't know. It could be any number of reasons, but it does happen. Very rare that it happens, and like I said, even those people can find companionship with other like-minded, insane people, but, it is something. I don't know, honestly, it's easier on the internet because you can scream about your interests and have people gravitate towards you and scream about the same interests back. Yeah, like I said, joining Discord is a really good idea. You can find communities with like-minded people and develop bonds that way. It always starts on that kind of equal footing. Soupy and I did meet on a sodomy board after all, and I met a ton of people on that board, but over time you figure out who you really have a connection with and who makes you feel truly comfortable. Perfect. Brilliant. Absolutely. This is it. I mean, it's everything that I just said. Like, you're going to filter people out, and then you're going to have a small, close group of friends, and it's going to be great. Also, going for, like, relationships, too. Like, having common interests. Okay, and even beyond relationships. Having common interests with people is important for maintaining connections and having trust with those people. Like, I'm no psychologist, so don't take whatever I'm about to say as absolute fact. But in my mind, the reason why we psychologically trust people that have similar interests is because we understand those interests, and those interests comfort us, and we trust in them. And so if these other people also are comfortable with those interests and they trust those interests, we can trust them too, because we understand them fundamentally more than we might understand somebody that likes something that we don't necessarily like, or someone that, you can trust somebody that likes things that you like more than you can trust somebody that likes things that you don't like because you don't understand it. Not saying you can't be friends with people that have other interests, but it is that weird primitive tribe mentality brain still going. Once again, the primitive brain going on. I don't know what to say regarding IRL antics because I can be pretty shy sometimes, and I'm definitely a more passive person, though I find myself being more relaxed once I meet people who I met over the internet first. Sometimes you feel so natural with some people that you're able to relax and unwind. And even if you can't, it's a slow process, and some people will have the patience and kindness to want help. I hope you can find new people. This is also a really good point. Meeting people, and you should always meet people you meet online with caution because you don't know what they're really like, in person. They could actually just be a serial killer. Statistically, probably not, but it is, something to be wary of. But it is true. Like, there are people that I have met online that I met in person, and it was like totally seamless. Like, going from online to in person was a seamless experience, and it was like there was no difference at all. And that's great. So, absolutely, if you feel like you have a hard time making friends, then just like join local groups. You know? That's
Are you still streaming?
I am. Hello, who joined?
Oh crap,
Hello.
you might be coming out of my. Hold on, give me a second. I can fix that. I can't hear you. I know why. Alright, try talking now.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, yeah, I am still streaming. I can hear myself in your.
You can? Oh
Yeah.
fuck, hold on, I'll see. Alright, how about now?
That remains to be seen. Okay, I can't hear it now.
Cool. So what is it that you're actually streaming in particular? Like, it looks like you were streaming like the fan stuff. I don't know.
So we're on the Donde Esta Lucy blog, and I'm going through from the very start all the way to modern day, and I'm going through the posts and talking and reacting to them. Because there's some interesting BCB lore in these posts.
There are. It's from the Tumblr.
Yeah.
That's where Tumblr became inactive by everyone that used Tumblr.
Yeah, there are many. There's kind of one specific reason why that happened, but
Because they got rid of that adult.
yeah, they
stuff.
they were like no adult content whatsoever, which fair. I guess they just didn't want to have to deal with people uploading illegal stuff, and they're just like nobody gets to do it now. But turns out sex sells, and that's the whole reason people were on this website.
The activity was made like, I think they said it was like 80 or 70% of the adult content. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you just kind of have to admit what you have become, even if it's not your original intention. Unfortunately.
I love the comics. I love you guys. You've ruined my life, though. Every time I think about the time Lucy left, I cry. It's not even funny because I'm in class and it's just, oh, look, Lucy almost died. Oh, shit, Paulo really loves Lucy. Loves her. Too bad he can't say anything because she gone. Oh, shit, are you crying? Fuck, man, hold back those tears. Don't you dare show them your weakness. I even got my friends to read it. We were all in the same situation. Some do cry in the middle of class. Brave warriors they are. I can't tell how serious this is. I would probably not cry over BCB in the middle of class, but also I wasn't around here at the time where Lucy went away. Also, they don't even know that Lucy's about to destroy Paulo's entire soul pretty soon because this post was made during Model Girlfriend, and Lucy comes back in the next chapter, and then like 2 chapters after that is the one where she's like, "You never had a chance with me. Get over yourself." They're gonna be crying extra hard then. They're gonna be like, "No."
Are you talking about when Lucy is talking to Augustus on the grass outside, and Paulo gets fucking hit with a bloody nose by Mike slamming into a table? And they kind of have that argument.
That also happened. I was talking about after you when she's like, "Oh," she was being all cuddly with them, and then she's like, "Ah, never mind. Fuck you."
Ah.
Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I feel incredibly flattered the comic affects you and your friends like that. Like, seriously, I am so honored. But I'm also very sad that you feel torn up about things like Lucy. I don't know whether to be sorry or feel proud of my writing ability. I don't.
Is that a key smash I hear?
Yeah, I don't want people to want to make people's lives worse. If it helps anyone, the comic won't ever end on a mega downer ending. Even the alternate ending I have in mind is more bittersweet than downer. So you don't ever have to worry about a plain tragedy. That will only be possible in BCI AU comics. Hit. Fly high like a diamond. Well, also the AU, the alternate ending would also still be an AU. Okay, two endings, right? I think the alternate ending will be one where the main cast just goes their separate ways. Which I feel like she's kind of setting up for now. I talked about this earlier in the stream, but with Mike joining the track team proper, with Lucy joining Augustus, Paulo and Daisy are off doing their own thing. Like, everyone's starting to become fractured. Of course, we know because of the pages that Teshi leaked herself that that Lucy will come back to the main table, but that will happen in 2 chapters. So we'll see where that goes. But maybe that can lead up to an alternate ending where everyone just goes their separate ways, you know? Let's see. That white cat again, of all places. Oh, wait, she's talking to herself. I found you, faker. Faker, I think you're the fake Lucy around here. You're comparing yourself to me. Ha, you're not even good enough to be my fake. I'll make you... Oh my god, amazing.
It's Sonic.
This should be a BCI. I hate Shadow. Ultimate loser, more like. Wow, L take. Is that a Genesis controller? Oh wow, they really went all in. That's a Super Nintendo in the background too. So this guy had rich parents because they afforded a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis.
Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Has Paulo been blushing when talking to Mike? I can neither confirm nor deny how gay Paulo is for Mike. I've been recently diagnosed with mild depression. Lately I found it difficult to enjoy anything I used to enjoy, and I sometimes can't even make myself get out of bed in the morning because I don't have the energy to do it. How do you handle this? Do you have any advice? Honestly, that's something you just have to work out on yourself. There's a great song by the All American Rejects called Move Along. That maybe that'll help. But you have to keep in mind that those feelings are only temporary. Like, just remember the times when things were good. And not like way in the past, but like recently. You know, whenever you're feeling like, I don't feel as passionate about this thing anymore, think about a time recently where you were passionate. And think about a time before that where you weren't passionate. And realize that this period of time where I don't feel as well will pass. This too shall pass. Which is an OK Go song. But also it's like just a saying in general. So take comfort in knowing that you will feel better. And that honestly might be enough to help you feel better. To be like, yeah, this will go away and I will be okay again. And that's the most comforting thing you can do for yourself, is to tell you that it will be tell yourself that it will be okay, because it has been before. I don't know what I can advise because I personally don't have depression. I might get low sometimes to the point I flop around in bed longer than usual, but I am more of an anxiety-ridden person, and that seems to be what sets fire to my ass and makes me work. I am too anxious about disappointing people that I don't stay super sad for long, and if I'm sad, I used it to inspire me as I'm drawing the comic. Terribly sorry for your troubles, and I hope you have found support through your friends and our family. If you have the ability to, it's totally worth finding a therapist to talk to about things. Taking that step to recovery is hard, but it's totally doable, and it only becomes more manageable. It might not ever fully go away, but you find ways to help and enjoy the life that you deserve to enjoy. Absolutely true. These mental afflictions will never fully go away. You will always have the claws of anxiety or the claws of depression trying to squeeze themselves into you. But you can fight it back. You can fight back. And sometimes it does get the best of you. Even if you know how to fight it. Even if you can fight it. Sometimes it does take you down. But that's okay, because you've fought it off the rest of the time. And you can fight it off again. Sometimes you just have to let it take you and just relax in the anxiety or the depression in order for it to let you go. If that makes any sense. Whoa, look at this Lucy gif. Really like this. It's a WebP though, not a GIF, which is annoying.
Oh, WebP, yeah, that's because of fucking Google.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Can I try to save this as a .gif though? This is a nice Lucy.
All files and literally just put .gif afterwards. It should work.
When are we getting the BCB animated series? Like, we already got this walk animation. So when's the animated series?
When are we gonna pull a lackadaisy in a Pop and it immediately brings it into the mainstream?
Yeah, Teshi was like, Teshi said she didn't want to do an animated thing because it would distract people or take away from the webcomic, and I'm like, no, it would make people more interested in the webcomic if you made it, because then they'd want to know more about these characters. If you did, like, I want to do it. That is the dream, is to one day do like a pilot, which we started kind of working on way back when I first got banned, or around during the time I got banned, when we were going to make the BCB comic dub, the Like a Bittersweet Candy Bowl comic dub, as an animated thing. But I really think that it would, it's in my brain. I can see it in my brain how I would do an animated pilot, but I am no artist and I have no right to ask other artists to help out with it. And if only I weren't banned. If only I weren't banned, I could make it happen easier. But I am banned. That is my burden to bear as my cross. What about
Tesh? Like, yeah. Freaking, one song for the 70s.
Let's see. Okay. Migbird. I recognize this artist's name. They did some art. I need to remember what art they did. I think they did some spicy art, if I'm not mistaken. Migbird. Oh, they did the BCB song. That's where I know them from. Teshi, regarding your latest diary page, the one about anger, I know where you're coming from. I want you to know that no one would reasonably blame you for being angry. Having issues doesn't excuse them abusing you. I don't know what this is actually a reference to. I don't know. We're going to skip past that one. I really love your comic, but sometimes I feel like the ultra character hate from fans can be a little bit too much. Characters should have flaws. If a character doesn't have them, then they aren't realistic enough and it's hard to relate to them as a real person. Anyway, even though everyone's hating on Daisy, she's still one of my favorites, and she'll mature and learn eventually. Give her some time. Yeah, no, she won't. She'll just get worse, actually. Paula will just make her worse. Why would people's passionate opinions affect your feelings about the comic, though? Shouldn't it be mutually exclusive? Fucking got him. Destroyed. There's a reason that was an anonymous post. Absolutely destroyed. But this does... This does call back to something I've talked about before, where people get way too emotionally invested with the characters to the point where they're completely projecting themselves onto the characters, to the point where if anybody insults a character, people get personally offended as though you have offended them, like you have personally insulted them, when that was not at all the case. And people don't want characters that they have projected themselves onto to have flaws, right? Because then it looks bad upon themselves. What is this? What is... Oh, you sent the thing. It looks bad on themselves. They feel bad for having these flaws and they don't like it. And that's why people get mad at Mike for having flaws, or people try to ignore the flaws, or try to make the flaws seem like a good thing, when in reality, they're just making it worse, you know? No, Harambe! Another Lukey walk cycle. If you hate people being rude to your characters, then why do you post comments below or highlight ones attacking or defending specific characters based on the situation? I get that you can't help it at all or stop it all, but people are really hurting from it out here. People, even I sometimes feel attacked ourselves when people are nasty, like how you said once that people disregard a character's patience for the mistake or relating they see at hand. What they see at hand. Is there anything we can do to stop this? I think this is more or less what I just said. Who are they talking to specifically? Are they talking to? I think they're talking about the anonymous person. Attacking any specific characters in a situation. I I feel like I'm missing context for this, like some of the context. You can't really stop people being passionate about characters other than just believe they're being really wrong about it if they don't like their reasons. Half the time I highlight an angry comment as, look how mad this person is about cats, rather than fully endorse this. Oh, okay, I see. They're talking about Teshi doing that. I don't know, I can easily tell when a person is being biased about a character due to their own background and experience, and when a person is just being plain ableist, in which I'm like, that's shitty that you don't think about the other side of the coin, but you do you, I guess. Yeah, once again, people just taking the characters too seriously and projecting themselves onto it, but also, you do, and this isn't even something Teshi should, like, have to pull back on, but you do have to be careful with how you interact with the community, because you can make it seem like you are disagreeing or agreeing with somebody depending on who's looking at it, like someone's perspective. So you have to take all the angles. You have to make clear. How many hieroglyphs have you learned today? 0. How many have you learned today? I was rereading Dial Tone, and maybe I'm just too used to reading manga, so that's why I didn't notice at first. But on page 17, the last two panels shouldn't be in a different order, as in first Mike is sitting up and then starts crying, because on page 18 that's what he's doing. If not, uh, then ignore this. I love you guys for working so hard on such a lovely webcomic. Been a reader for about 6 years already. What the fuck? Never flipped the page back. Can't believe I didn't notice it as now. Wait, did they fix that? Wait, let's go back to dial tone.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Like that, you got to see that for yourself. They fixed page 16. Last two of page 17. Oh yeah, this is the dream sequence.
What are they saying?
They must have fixed it.
The last two panels shouldn't be in a different order. Mike sit up then starts crying.
So she must have fixed it.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe we can do a funny edit of the original page edit in a moment of that. Why does it? There, we'll edit that back to the original cut. Release the flipped cut. Abby's pretty gentle. That wasn't very. Oh my god.
Daisy. Just whacks you right in the frickin'. What's like a Adam's apple? That's painful.
I freaking exploded. Wait, who? Oh.
That's me.
Who's PK Max?
I don't know. They made their account 2 months ago, so that's a little bit sus.
I feel like PK Max has been in here before, but it was like, it's fine. Even though you two aren't from the U.S. and that you aren't from the U.S. and that you have an international fan base, why do you make April Fool's pages? BCB takes place in fictional USA. They celebrate Halloween in a chapter, dude, Lamau. Oh yeah, I guess this was when they were in Australia. Hi, do we have permission to use StreamYard as personal device wallpapers? I saw the picture you drew of Daisy in a rain jacket and thought it was super cute. You totally can go wild. I've done that. I used to have the picture of, here, I'll just pull it up. I used to have the picture of, let's see, of Paulo and Sue on the road trip as my background for a while. This one. This is a good background, by the way. It's nice. I want this chat. When can BCB be this?
It kind of looks like Van Gogh-ish, like impressionist.
Yeah. When can it be? When can when is Paulo gonna take Sue on the convertible that he paid for with his job on a road trip to wherever the fuck this is supposed to be? The Blue Ridge Mountains, I guess. I don't even wait. Where is this? Why is there sand? Wait, what is? Where
There's a
in the
Disney.
United States is this supposed to be?
It's like
Exactly.
brushland and sand.
Why
This
did
is like the freaking like it's like the brushland in Central Africa. There's no place. There's mountains. Like I don't understand.
Anyway, they're going on a road trip to get away from everybody else, and they're having a great time. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've wanted all along. Make this into a comic. I'd pay for it. I mean, I'd pay for BCB if they let me, but they don't. Okay, so we're going to put a pause on Donde Esta Lucy today. Before we go, uh, we're gonna do a funny thing with that page. We're gonna put the thing to where it was before. See, wow, is this really not showing? Is GIMP not showing up? For real? There. Oh, we gotta go to order, move to bottom, and then set that down. Let's open this up. Just for funsies. There's no reason to do this, but we're doing it for just for funds. We're gonna have to be very careful. We gotta go pixel by pixel.
You're not streaming it on the Discord if you are on the if it's on the
Oh,
Twitch, like, YouTube,
I
whatever.
am streaming it on the YouTube.
YouTube.
Change stream. Okay. Dude, people completely abandoned the Normalsville Discord. They were on there for like a week and then, or not the Discord, but the Minecraft server. They were there for like a week and then nobody's on there
Oh yeah,
anymore.
I keep joining it and no one joins. I kept joining and it's like, damn,
Why
no
go?
one's here.
I mean, I'm on there every day. Maybe not the times everyone else is on there, but I am consistently on there. Oh my gosh. Hey.
Is this what DAW is this? Digital Visual Workstation or whatever.
This is GIMP.
Gum.
Yeah. Bring out the GIMP.
I imagine you'd be able to do just corner to corner, but you don't got it like on a rectangular kind of thing. I think yeah. And then you just is there a way you can literally just swip swap?
It's a little bit weird. GIMP is open source, so it's a little bit funky. Alright. Okay. We'll bring this
You like it
in.
when it's funky.
Bring this in. Bring this in. So we're going to move. It's gonna be funny. Selection. Why is it being weird? Why doesn't it? Okay, there we go. We have to go. Boom. Then. Wait. Okay.
You could do it where he's like crying in both panels.
Lol. Oh no! Wait, is it? Oh, it's different sizes. The panels aren't the same size. That's okay. We'll
Yeah,
fix
actually,
that.
the left one is white, the longer than the right one. You're gonna have to like do the border as well and try and make it like the background fit or something.
I see.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. We got this. All right. And then we can do is This is more work than I was expecting, I'm gonna be real with you. It's okay. This shit post will definitely be worth the time that I'm putting into it.
Oh, most definitely.
Instead of like editing videos or playing Diablo 2. Yeah, I think that's good.
I DM'd you the freaking 400 megabyte freaking crisp, clean audio of me as Matt in Bowling Alley, whatever it's called.
Fair game.
Jordan's birthday party. And Jordan's really whiny the whole chapter, and they're like,
Why
"Dude,
is
Jordan
the
really whiny."
edge? Why is the edge? Why is it edging me so hard right now?
That's incredible.
Oh, and this part will be really easy. You just bam. Easy breezy. And then over here, this whole thing would probably have to be moved over. Eh. I don't know if it's really worth that much time, but there. That one page in dial tone as it was originally intended to be seen.
Unintentionally correct.
We did it, chat. Dial tone unfixed.
Unfixed.
Yeah. It is possible that she
The manga style in mind.
literally just forgot that it was like this before. And she just flipped it back over. I could make this into a GIF, the one where Mike starts crying, actually. Let's try that, actually. Let's do that. You guys are getting an extra special stream today. You actually get to see me, like, even though this isn't, you're not even, this isn't even going to go on a video, but the process.
Are you cutting it to be like shorter so they're the same size?
I will. I just have to line them up first. Uh, see. All right. This is gonna be Mike every night for the rest of his life, crying.
As he deserves, unfortunately. Or not, I don't know.
Unfortunately deserves. We need to move this into closer to where the bed should be, right here. There. It's like that. Not quite there yet. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. A little bit too low. So that needs to go over this way a little bit more. God. That doesn't mesh with the flooring down here. I like the detail that the pillow is indented right when he wakes up, and then as he cries, like it goes back to its shape. It's a nice little touch.
Metaphor.
It's an earthquake. It's not 1-to-1.
Does it really need to be?
Yes. Wait, I think I might have an idea on how to make this work. Okay, so this line, the red line. Why won't it let me? Oh, because it's. No, it's pretty much the same. Uh, why does everything look like it's shifting? Because like it is shifting, but
I thought you were saying, why does everything look shitty?
oh. Okay, this is what the. So it needs to move down a little bit. Like I'm looking at a stereo image. This is as close as it's gonna get, I think. Which is kind of where I had it before. Alright, let's see. This is easy fix. Okay, maybe it's gonna be dumb. Could probably just like. We're gonna have to crop this anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about all that. Yeah, let's do that. The pillow and that. Oh well. Let's see. Try one. We need to like actually put this in the. Wow, my computer is running really slow. Who sent me a DM? Big cry one. We'll put this in memes. Cry. Then we open up the old editing program. Oh wait, no, I can just use a GIF maker on the internet. What the fuck am I doing?
I'm trying to use a image software like Photoshop and GIMP to make animated anything. This is the
Yeah,
first
I'm
mistake.
hardcore. I am hardcore. Actually, what we're going to do real quick is as soon as I find the right thing. Hold up, I gotta pull up. Let me make sure this is safe to look at before I actually pull it. Oh, yeah, that's not safe to look at. uh,
Opening the
people have
stream
been
at once.
trying to roleplay in the code threads. And it's cringe. They're pretending to be Lucy and Mike and all that. Paulo.
In where?
In the BCB co-threads. Actually, I think we're just gonna end it here. I'll get that GIF out to you guys, and it's on the Discord. You can join the Discord in the link below, and I'll probably post it on the co-thread for fun. All right, okie dokie. Next week when we come back, we'll be doing some more puzzles that you guys can join in on. Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams, free on Steam. You can download it and join me in the multiplayer.